We've heard all about contaminated water, Flint, Michigan, and concerns elsewhere around the country. And many of us have resorted to having bottled water all the time. But is it really better? Here's the real deal with Shari. You know, 20 years ago, I don't think I knew what bottled water was. Now I never leave the house without bottled water. I bring 4 bottles to work with me. We've got a fountain here. You can drink it for practically free at home or at work. What happened?
We've been bottling water forever, humans. I mean, first for religious purposes and for spa-type purposes, but the biggest developments in this country were in the 50s and 60s when our public water systems got better, and then in the 70s and 80s when, you remember, Perrier, the French company, began really marketing their bottled water, and then DuPont invented the PET plastic bottles, which are lighter and unbreakable, of course. So what happened is, as a result, we have hundreds of worldwide brands of bottled water now. Americans spend about $20 billion a year on bottled water, and our consumption is up hugely. We're the second biggest consumer after China.
But I go back to what I originally said. We can drink it from the tap or at work for practically free. So is the bottled stuff that we're paying for really better than tap water?
It's interesting, and that question goes to 2 things. Number 1 is the source of the water. Number 2 is the way it gets to you and how that impacts the water itself. So, for example, with tap water, the EPA regulates tap water. The source you can check with your Right to Know report. You can look up your local water district and find out how good the source is in that report that's required. The delivery system, of course, is the pipes, and we know there have been problems with lead in pipes. You can hire an EPA inspector to come check your own pipes, especially if you live in an older neighborhood or an older home. At the end of the day, there are more illnesses from tap water than from bottled water. Now, bottled water is regulated by the FDA, and of course the sources are all over the world, but the delivery system, again, is a problem because those PET bottles are now known to leach carcinogens into the water, especially if they're stored for more than 6 months or at high temperatures. The other issues are the environment, because it's very heavy on the environment to produce, transport, and then dispose. Over 80% of those bottles are not recycled. They're just thrown out, and that never disintegrates. And the cost, of course, it's thousands of times more to use the bottled water. But like you said, some people like the taste or the convenience, so they use it anyway.
Yeah, but I do think about that, with all the plastic we're throwing away, and of course the heat when you have that bottled water sitting in your car in that plastic. Yikes. Okay, so what are the alternatives?
Well, the best alternative actually is to look at a filtration system for your home. That would eliminate all of these illnesses. So you can do a faucet filtration, container filtration, or whole house filtration for as little as, $30 or $40 up to hundreds of dollars for the full house. That will eliminate most of the problems and give you a wonderful resource, unless, of course, you live right next door to a naturally mountain spring or something.
The French Alps.
And then you store that in either steel or glass containers, and the cost is nothing. It's about 25 cents a day versus literally hundreds of dollars a year that people are spending on bottled water.
You do have some choices.
And great on the environment,
Thanks, Shari. We got to go.
Sure.
See you soon.